Legends Arceus takes Pokemon into a drastically new direction, and it does so very well. The difficulty scales very strongly. A lot of, even in the opening area, there's a lot of like level 40s and 50 Pokemon, and as you get to later areas, you start to see 60s, 70s. I think all the legendaries are 70s, so if you're not prepared, or if you're not just good at the game, if you're not an older person playing the game, the difficulty spike is definitely there. The story is very interesting. It's just all around a very well made game, but it's kind of a little too well made. I can't imagine going back to like a typical Pokemon game. And I say that as someone who really liked Sword and Shield. I know a lot of people had problems with it, and I definitely had some issues with it, mostly around the graphics, although I don't care that much. But as someone who really liked Sword and Shield and every Pokemon game before it, I've never had a Pokemon game I didn't like. I've played all of them and enjoy all of them quite a bit. I don't think I could go back to that. Like, if Gen 9 was announced in like 2 months, because March is it March? I think it's March when they usually start announcing stuff for Pokemon. If they announced a Gen 9 and it was like Sword and Shield but with better graphics and a new region, I honestly don't think I would be that interested in that game. Not that anything's wrong with that style, like I don't mind it, but it's just so much less interesting than what they did with Legends Arceus. Even if they just, kept the mechanics of Arceus for a new region, like, that would be fine. I don't need the whole historic context or anything like that. That's not really where my concern is. As much as I do like that stuff in Legends Arceus, that's not really what I want it. That's not what I necessarily need out of it. But I can't imagine like going back to like just playing through 8 gyms in a Pokemon League. Like, as a typical, like, follow the routes through the tunnels and bridges and stuff. I can't imagine doing that again. Whatever the next game is, I feel like it almost has to be Legends-esque, I guess. Pokemon Legends Arceus kind of ruined Pokemon. Like, classic Pokemon. At least for me. Like I said, I don't want that for I don't want classic Pokemon again for whatever Gen 9 ends up being. And I know Legends just came out, and like, really, you're already thinking of Gen 9. I mean, yeah, honestly. I expect some kind of DLC for Legends, but that's really it. I feel like the next major game will be Gen 9. We usually get 2 generations to a handheld, or to a system. And we're coming up on that halfway point, or we're passing, I guess, that halfway point of the Switch's life. So if we're going to get a Gen 9, I feel like it's going to come probably next year. I don't know, Arceus being in January kind of screws things up a little bit, but I think by either end of this year or early next year, I think we might get another early Pokemon game. I don't think they're going to wait till the end of next year, but I don't know. That's my opinion. Anyway, but yeah, I'm already thinking of Gen 9 because that's kind of what the next game will most likely be, and I don't really have any expectations for DLC outside of I would like to play that DLC if it does come out. But if Gen 9 ends up being like Gen 8 but better graphics, I don't see that doing super well. Legends Arceus kind of changed the way Pokemon's played now. Like, the open world, basically everything being real time. I know the open world's more like Monster Hunter open world, I guess. It's sections that you can travel to, but it's open enough. Like, each section has a lot to offer, so it feels like an open world for the most part, with some small annoyances, like not being able to go from one area to another area. You have to go back to the town to go back out to the. That's a little annoying, but overall not a big deal. But if it goes back to like just that open world-esque like Pokemon has always been, I don't know. I don't see that being the most interesting thing, and I honestly don't know if I could play that again. I don't even know if I could go back and like pick up a DS and play a Pokemon game at this point. And I've done that for pretty much every Pokemon game. The only one I haven't replayed like multiple times has been Sword and Shield. A lot of that comes down to just not having time to do so, barely having time to play the games I want to play, let alone replay a game, and them being relatively new. But that's like the only one I haven't replayed. But honestly, I don't think I could go back to like a DS game and play it again for Pokemon. Like the change is kind of it's like going back to old Zeldas after Breath of the Wild. I actually don't really like the Breath of the Wild comparisons to Legends Arceus. I think they're a little heavy-handed. Like it's not. This has that Breath of the Wild moment where like, holy shit, this is really different from old Pokemon. But that's kind of it. Like outside of that, the games are not very similar. Not enough where I would say this is like the Breath of the Wild of Pokemon. It's more like the Monster Hunter of Pokemon, I guess. Anyway, I don't know if I could go back to that kind of Pokemon. Like, I have nothing against the old Pokemon games. Obviously, I still love the old Pokemon games, but I don't know that I can go back and play them again. At least not like for a very long time. Like that's just not what I want out of the next Pokemon. When we get a Gen 9, I would like to see a new region, so I do want a Gen 9, but I don't want a traditional Pokemon game. It really kind of has to be a Legends Arceus type game. So I guess the point here is this game is important, but really I think Gen 9 is the game that's actually important. Like, this is a good step, but this is very much an experiment, and you can see that in the game. Like they were doing their best to make this its own thing, but they're kind of going to see where this goes. So at this point now, it's okay, this was very, very successful. Gen 9 is where we see, okay, did you take this success and actually run with it? And this game just coming out now, and I assume Gen 9 being next year at the latest. I don't know if they're going to have time to implement this much, like this kind of gameplay into Gen 9. I don't know if they would have made Gen 9 like this, because they don't know how it's going to do. But I think that's really where we're going to see, did they learn from this and imply that to Gen 9? And is Gen 9 going to like, are the games just going to follow like this from now on? If Gen 9 goes back to the Gen 8 formula, I don't think I'll play it. Or at the very least, I don't think I'll be as interested. It might just be something I pick up and, you know, play whenever, like play on like as a side game. I don't think it'll be something that keeps me super excited. And honestly, I don't think even like a remake, like if they remade Black and White for Gen 9, like mid-generation, the remakes that they usually get. Maybe if the remake is like the old Pokemon, I'd play that if they announced something with it, like a Legends type game with it. But if it's just, you know, the Diamond and Pearl remakes type, which I actually like those. I might be the only person in the world who likes them, but I actually really like them. I thought they were fine. If it's like that for Black and White, and there's nothing like in Legends to go with it, I don't think I'd play that either. I don't see a reason. We have, what, 30 regular Pokemon games? That's probably too many. We have a lot of regular, the traditional Pokemon games. I'm kind of done with that now. I think Legends Arceus showed that we don't need that anymore, or at least not for now, or for a significant amount of time. I think we need a break from that, and I think they need to continue with this Legends formula. There are some problems with the game. I don't want to give the impression that the game is perfect. It's not. The graphics are an obvious one, but I personally don't think it's that big of a deal. They look fine. There are some weirdnesses, like if you see a flying Pokemon in a distance, sometimes its frame rate on them is really bad. Not that big of a deal. At least not gameplay wise. It's aesthetically a little annoying, but it's not the end of the world or anything. And I did mention having to travel like back to town and then go back out to to a new area is a little tedious, but again, it's not that big of a deal. Other than that, I don't really have any problems with the game, though. Most of the game is fine. Alright, that's pretty much it. That's really... I didn't want to review Legends Arceus. I didn't even beat the game yet. I don't want to give too many spoilers, but I'm pretty far in the game. I'm almost done. I've rolled credits on the game, so I'm doing the post game, I guess, technically. But you know, if you played the game, I'm at the I guess the second boss to the end of the game, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, I'm almost done. So I don't want to review the game. I haven't finished the game, and I don't really like doing game reviews. It's a little awkward for me. But it's a really good game. I really like it, so much so that I just don't think I can go back to old Pokemon. And that's what I mean by, I think Legends Arceus kind of ruined Pokemon for me. Where if it's not this again, I kind of don't care to play it after this. If it's not Arceus, if it's not Legends 2, I'm probably not going to play it. That's just me, though. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Thanks for watching.